You start looking at the other state schools kind of struggling, and they're having that whole like, oh my God, we've lost 4 games or 3 games this season, and for us that's like,
you're like 11.
Well, I'm like, dude, we lost 11. Look, you talk, whatever. Talk to someone else. Don't choose a quarter. Call someone who cares.
Not that I didn't think we were ever going to win again, but I truly did not believe we were going to win 1 game this season. I really thought if we won 2 games, I was going to consider it a good season.
I started setting expectations of, hey, 1 or 2 games, or even, if we win 3 games, that's progress.
The USF game was the one that just broke the camel's back. I couldn't take it anymore. I was just like, I just went off, and I couldn't take it. I was like, I don't know how much more I can take of this. I mean, why do you do this? I mean, you're looking up at the sky and you're, God, why do you do this to me? When are we going to win a game? And to lose to them, USF, gee whiz. I hate them.
0-17. It was hard to convince myself to go to the games, but I still wanted to go.
Being a fan during the 17-game losing streak was, in a word, painful.
It was tough to tell people you went to UCF because they would kind of laugh at you, be like, oh, your football team stinks.
During this losing streak, when it got to 14, 15 games, you said, oh my God, we're cursed. Maybe there's a curse here. You were reaching for superstitious answers.
I actually felt we were cursed, and I called it the curse of Cruz, or Kruzik's curse. I'm like, we haven't won a game since this guy got fired.
Basically, the only thing to really do to cope with another UCF loss after the week before there was a loss, just and so on and so forth, was to drink.
It was kind of hard after a walk. So I'm going, God, are we never going to win a game? God.
Kind of being an obsessed fan, I go to the online community quite a bit. After a loss, after the 3rd loss, 4th loss, losing games that we shouldn't lose, I detached from that, and I wouldn't go to the message board to see what people had to say, because it just reminded me that it was a bad loss.
The media was even worse.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
The highlights on the 11 o'clock news, Saturday
I guess
nights.
the lowlights of the Saturday nights.
It got to be a morbid kind of curiosity. It's like, how bad can it get? Can it get to 20? Can we be the next Prairie View?
I knew we were going to win. I didn't know when, and that was really tough, especially starting out this year 0-2. And looking at our next couple of games with Marshall and teams like that who we'd never beat before.
You did begin to wonder, are we ever going to win again? But like I say, you can only lose so many. Eventually there's got to be some team that's worse than you are.
You would expect an 0-17 team at the time, if they're going to win a game, it's going to be, we squeezed one out in the last minute. Those guys went out there and they won the game, like full force, just doing the same things we'd watched them do for like a season.
You could hear the announcer saying, please no one on the field after the game, which basically meant everyone on the field after the game. And the excitement at that era, that moment, was just electrifying. Seeing the goalposts come down, the fans rushing the field, the exuberance of the players after their first win, and who knows how long, it was great.
And it was just unbelievable. People were calling me from their cell phones saying we're jumping the fence, and I was watching the goalposts come down and march down the field, and jumping up and down, and you had this warm glow in your whole body, man. You just felt good. It felt like you just won the lottery or something.
Just watching it, I had nothing to say. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it was just unbelievable. It was one of the best games I've ever been to in my life.
I saw a couple players in the field. I told them to get off the field. They were going to get in trouble. They didn't really care what I had to say. They were enjoying it themselves.
Right now the piece of the goalpost we had was cut into about 50 pieces. The large piece of it is in the strength and conditioning room we gave the coaches, and then the rest of it went to all the Rowdy Knights who helped us tear it down and just to remember their moment by. So after the Houston game, we had
a lot of optimism around the program.
One of my bosses gives out a calendar, and the calendar every year has like little fast facts. December 25th, it said South Carolina. It was like one of the teams, like South Carolina or Hawaii, went 0-10 or 0-11, and the following year went to a bowl game. And I kept that because I kept on telling myself, you know what? I'm like, if they can do it, I'm like, hell, why can't we do it?
I expected UCF to get maybe 2 or 3 wins on the year, maybe beating Louisiana Lafayette. Just didn't think they were going to really amount to much this season. It was another building season. Now I'm pleasantly surprised because now they're 7-3, possibly on the verge of going 8-3 now to a bowl game.
Nobody ever could have thunk that this would happen.
I can't believe it because I'm thinking to myself, God, I never in a million years imagined us going to a bowl. Never.
I don't even care if it's the toilet bowl. I don't care what it's called. I don't care who the sponsor is. I want to go. I want to be there, and I'm going to be there to cheer on the Knights.
Going to the Liberty Bowl or the GMAC Bowl or the Hawaii Bowl doesn't mean as much to me. Right now, I'm concerned about a conference championship.
We're about ready to go to Hawaii here. I think everybody would agree that we've all got the finances to go to Hawaii. Yes? Yes? Yes?
A UCF season this season has been a Cinderella story.
The fans were great this year, and they were there throughout the entire streak when there could have been 2,000-3,000 people at the game. But they stuck by the team, and they still went. Even if they didn't think they were going to win, they were still there.
All the bandwagon fans, I just I don't know, sometimes I just feel like saying kiss my ass because, they weren't there when things were wrong. They weren't there when just things weren't working right and the media was on them and everything else. And just suddenly they're like, oh my God, UCF, great, woohoo. I mean, that's great, but they'll never be able to understand from my perspective and from my friends' perspectives